Hi, how are you? Welcome to the Funny Farm. Thanks so much for joining me tonight. Let's see if I can get it together here real quick. So I have a new fun door hanger to show you all, and as soon as I saw this, I knew that I had to do it and put it on my front door immediately. Okay, so we're gonna use the transfer, the Funny Farm, okay, and make a door hanger. So I have all my pieces here. Let's just get to it, right? Let's see. Hopefully this is going, the comments are gonna load. I don't know, y'all. Maybe I'll remember to to reload it and so on. So this is, what is this? Like a chartreuse color. Oh, it's on the lid. I always forget. This is called Succulent. Okay, it is by Deco Art. I'm spilling it everywhere. That's really great. It's perfect, actually. I'm gonna just use that. I'm gonna use it for the greenery right here for the little flowers that go with this. Start with the little stuff first. I already painted the backer of the door hanger itself just to get that out of the way. I may actually have to do a second coat. We'll see. I think that the paint that I used is pretty good. I used this Deco Art paint, and it was black, so I don't think I'll need a second coat on that one. But couple coats of this green will do it just fine, I think. Let me see. Make sure you say hey whenever you come on. I'm gonna just set this to the side. I don't know if I'm gonna need it one more time or not, but maybe. All right, and then I have, so there's a donkey on this. Hi, Terry. I'm doing good. Nice to see you. So there are pieces to this donkey, and I need to look at my reference picture because I want to do some different colors. This is Artifact, again by Deco Art. It's that same pot of paint that these are on sale on Deco Art's website. We're going to do that for the hair, and there's a few little accent pieces that go on the donkey's face that I'm going to paint in this darker gray color. I pulled out all the grays tonight. So yeah, I thought this was perfect because my house is a little bit chaotic at the best of times. Okay, we have lots of stuff going on here pretty much always. And it's always been a running joke in our family that it gets a little crazy. So it could be like a little funny farm. And when I saw that transfer, I knew that I had to use it to make myself a door hanger. So this cutout ended up working out perfect for that. Now I have this little lighter gray that I'm going to use for his facial features. And hopefully it's not too blue. It looks kind of blue-ish. It's kind of gray-ish. It is called... It's in all different languages, so it's hard for me. Yesteryear. Okay. Again, from Deco Art. I bought a bunch of these discount paints from their clearance section, and I've been using them like crazy. Hi, Jocelyn. How are you? I was at Home Depot, not last weekend, but the weekend before, because, you know, we got our new door installed, and I had to go buy paint for it. And I always stop by the Oops section in the paint department at Lowe's and Home Depot and see if they've got any good paints, y'all. And I scored a really good, very small pot of paint. And it was like a really good brand, Bear, I believe. Interior paint. I think it was interior and exterior. But anyways, on the jar. It was like normally $7 for that paint. I got it for like 60 cents because it was an oops. So if you ever go to Home Depot, go check out the colors that they have. I mean, they may not be like a perfect color that you would pick, but you never know. And the one that I got was like a really nice grass green, which is perfect to craft with. And, you know, you just never know. I always buy paint, and I don't care what color it is. I never like, I mean, sometimes I shop for specific colors, but if I see paint and it's on sale, I'm generally buying it. I'm so bad. Alright, I'm having to refresh this all the time, so sorry about that. Anyway, the keyword is the word farm. You can comment it right here and get the link to go grab this off my Etsy. The cutouts on my Etsy, the transfer and the paste and all that I'm going to use are on my website right now. And did y'all hear that we have Pooh launching tomorrow? Winnie the Pooh and Friends. I'm so excited, y'all. I love Winnie the Pooh so much. So I can't wait for that. Mickey and Minnie are out there already. And I can't believe we have so many collaborations. It's just crazy to me. Okay, now I need to look at my reference photo because, sorry, I'm just thinking I didn't think this through, I don't think. I'm going to mix a little bit of paint really fast because I needed 3 grays and I only had 2. So, I'm looking to see if I have another shade that's over there, but I don't. So I'm going to use this white color and mix a little bit with this darker gray and make me a shade that works, okay? For just the nose, like the muzzle, I guess, is what that would be called, and the inside of the ears. So I'm going to just put a little bit on this plate right here. And I could have probably used a different, maybe, I don't know, a different color, but I don't have anything readily available over here that really tickles me that much. So might as well just mix a color real fast. And I want it to be a lighter gray than the other ones. Plus, if I use one of the grays that I already have as my base, then it'll kind of go, you know? Hopefully. I hope. Alright, I think that's good. It's lighter than the other ones, so that's good. It's a start, right? And then I'm going to have to use this white. Y'all, I'm making a mess here. I really need some squirt bottles for these paints. I'm obviously a nightmare getting them all over me. I haven't even used that white yet, and it's all over my hands and everything else. Alright, I think that's going to be good. It's lighter than the hair, which is what I wanted. And I actually may add some streaks of black into the hair just to kind of darken it up just a little bit. I think that would be good, right? Or maybe even a gray marker paint pen would be nice to just add some depth to the hair. I think that might be what I end up doing. Instead of the black, because the black could be dangerous, you know? Alright. Okay, and then I have just a couple pieces here that I need black for, and then white, and then hold on, I'm looking. Oh, I know I needed yellow too, so I have yellow for the little insides of the flowers. Sorry, see, it's chaotic around here. I don't know what I'm doing tonight. My brain is only firing partially. Hi, Alma. Yeah, I totally get that, Terry. And, I mean, you can always grab it later, too. So, I just put a tiny bit of this on this tray over here. and of this yellow color. But that just means that later we'll have more of all of those characters, and I'm excited to see what the designs will be. But yeah, I totally get it. It is hard to afford for everyone, not just you. I'm gonna use a little paintbrush, I think. To get this a little bit darker. So you could leave the centers of these flowers brown if you wanted to. They are engraved. So I was looking at the picture on the Etsy, on the Etsy listing from this cutout, and that's how she had it painted. So thank you, Alma. It's nice to see you too. I miss you guys. Okay, so I have a tiny bit of black here that I need to paint. And I already have, I'm going to just do his eyes with this. I forgot. This is what I used a minute ago. I know that's like the most giant foam brush, but that's what I used for the backer. Okay, and then that white again, I am going to use that for the insides of the eyes, this dragonfly, and the outside of the flowers for the daisies. So yeah, pure chaos around here pretty much 24/7. I'm going again to New Orleans next week, and I'm going to try my best to pack projects to take with me. I am flying this time, which makes it a little bit more difficult, but I got to just find small stuff that I can take in my bag. So I'm working on that right now too this week so that I can be prepped and ready to go for next week. And then I'll see you while I'm on my trip. So, y'all, I'm sorry that I've been not present like I should be, but I've been on the struggle bus bad, trying to manage my time because I'm just exhausted. I feel like just beat at the end of the day, and it's been really hard. So, I apologize. Hopefully, that will change here pretty soon. As some of these projects that I'm working on die down and finish. I say die down. They're not going to die down. They're going to be completed. And then my days will be freed up a little bit. And I'll be able to just take a deep breath and be able to relax just slightly enough to not be running around all day, every day like a chicken with my head cut off at my day job. Alright. So I think I did 2-ish coats on this. I might need to come back and do another coat. We'll see. Let me refresh this again because who knows what's going on with Facebook comments. I don't know why. They're still doing this thing where I have to refresh consistently, which is pretty aggravating. Alright, I'm gonna just set that right over here. And then as far as the words for the transfer, I was thinking, I did the background black, so I was thinking that I would use this darker gray color, and I want to use black paste for the actual transfer, so I think that will work. And this will kind of tie it in. I could have used that yellow. That would have been nice too. I was considering that, but I'm not a huge fan of yellow personally. And I know I'm wearing a like yellowish green shirt right now. This is more of a green shirt though, personally. It's like chartreuse, like that green that I just used actually. But I'm not a huge fan of yellow, so I don't gravitate towards it very much. And I probably should more because yellow is not a bad color to use in crafting, but you know, the pretty much only time I use it is for back to school or bees. And I can't think of another time that I really, or flowers, sometimes for the flowers, but I don't really use yellow a whole lot. All right. And I wanted to use black paste, and I didn't want this to look like a bee thing, you know, because black and yellow is just reminds me of a bumblebee. All right. Plus this gray I think will work just fine. It'll stick out against the black background, and it'll also tie in with the color of our donkey. All right. Okay, and then I do have just a little bit of paint in the O there. So let me see. All right, I think we're good to go here. Now, let me dry all this, and then we can get a move on here and get this thing put together. I did want to grab a gray marker and see what I can do for his hair. And just, the more I'm looking at that donkey's face though, the more that this gray is looking blue, and that's not good. So I might need to touch that up with a different color. I'm just looking over to my paints to see what all I have available over there to use. My daughter's dog is sitting in here right now just looking at me because she wants attention. So everyone say hi to Sky. Dozer's in the other room. Until he realizes that she's in here with me, he will be in there. And then he will come running if he knows that she's getting any more potential for any kind of attention that he's not getting directly. He will not let it stand. I promise you. Alright. There's a little bit of paint left on this one. Let me just hit that with the dryer. So I really can't believe we're almost already to the end of April. I am really shocked by that news, actually. The year just seems like it's just going by so quickly already. So I think this looks way too blue. Let me see if I can dig really quick through my stuff. I found a gray right on top. I don't know how dark this is. It might be a little bit too dark, but we can do a little mixing with just a tiny bit of white and lighten it up a little bit, and then I think it might be okay. So I'm going to just throw a little bit of white on here too, and then it's low. How many are you guys mixing paints? I don't normally do this, but you know, emergency situations pop up occasionally, I guess. So it needs to be a little bit darker than that one is, but not as dark as the hair, you know? All right, I think that'll do it. Let me just figure out. I'm gonna just reuse. See, here he is. He heard me talking about him, about how he is an attention whore. Okay, now this one was probably okay, but next to the other gray, it's just kind of screaming blue to me, and I'm not loving that, so. The package, now that does look kind of blue on here, now that I look at it a second time, but it's supposed to be a gray. It's fine. We'll get this doctored up in no time. And it'll all go together beautifully, I'm sure. Plus the little darker gray accent pieces are going to go inside of here. I think it's going to be perfect. So let's get this part dried also. And then I'm going to leave all these little tiny pieces on here while we work through all of this. And in fact, all of his face, we'll set this to the side for now. And oh my gosh, you guys, I have paint. It's not gonna, it's not baby wipeable apparently. Okay, let's just move on. We'll do the transfer and then we'll come back to all of the cutouts, make sure they're all dry, put this thing together, and then get on with our lives, right? Now, as I do, I'm going to try and do as many of these letters at once as I can. I just fuzzed this a couple of times. I don't think it needs to be waxed or anything. You could wax it, I guess, if you wanted to, but there's a lot of silk screen on these letters, so there's not a whole lot that's sticking to the transfer, sticking to the cutout of transfer, so I don't really see a need to wax. Okay, you could totally do it if you want to, but it's not always necessary. Depending on the surface and all that stuff, and the actual transfer, I don't always wax, as y'all know. Let's see. So we'll do this part first, and then we'll do the Funny Farm secondly, okay? I think that's a little too much to try and stick it all on here at once. But I felt like we could do all of the welcome successfully, so hopefully we can. As you can see, I'm just kind of supporting all the letters as I get them stuck on here. And I do find that using my fuzzing cloth to sit them on makes it a lot easier to not get it stuck to my desk. Okay, because if not, it would be stuck to this glass thing, and that would be driving me absolutely insane bonkers. Okay, so sorry, I really need to go through my paste in my drawer and get rid of all of the old paste out of there. I have like an influx of paste, and I'm using that little thing just to put my overflow into. All right, and the paste that I use a lot of, like that I use all the time. And then I figured I could stick the extra paste in my, like my other paste in my drawer, but this drawer is full on my desk. So that's a problem. I need to go through it and get rid of anything that's old or dried out or just crusty, I'm sure there are some. And I probably just need to reacquaint myself with what colors I even have. I always reach for the same ones. I don't know about y'all, but I'm very stuck in my ways whenever it comes to doing things. I don't branch out enough. Not nearly enough, and I need to be better. I do it with my clothes too. I finally have started, in the last several years, I've started wearing more colors than I previously ever did. Colors that I probably wouldn't have worn before. So that's good. And I'll try stuff on that I probably wouldn't have worn before, like floral stuff and things like that. But with my decorating, I'm still the same person I've always been, using a lot of gray and black and white. And like metal tones. And beyond that, I'm not very adventurous, sadly. That worked pretty good. Just setting those to the side. And then we'll move on to the rest of it. So I tried to make these cutouts on the Funny Farm part where they're connected, okay? And for the most part they are, okay? But the F on farm was just too far away from the rest of the word. So that was the only one I couldn't connect it. It was just too much of a reach, and I didn't want to make the letters too fat. So that's the only one that wasn't connected. So sorry about that. Okay. Well, kept on, hold on, I gotta redo that because it was too far over, and I kept on moving it, and then every time I'd pick it up, I think I was slightly moving it. There we go. There we go. All right, all set. And this one should be a quick one to just go through and get all of those in one go. All right. Perfect. Make sure I close that, because I'll be heartbroken if that jar dries out before I'm done with it. And I'm certain I'll use it before it dries out, but if I don't make sure I close it properly, it could be, oops, a tragedy. Oh my gosh. That, my friends, was a potential tragedy with the flipping that over. It did not mess up the F though, so that's a miracle in itself. Okay, here's my backer board, and it appears that it's, for the most part, dry. It looks like there's maybe one little part here that's not quite all the way there yet. But let me move all of my letters over, and then we can start placing everything on here. So I made this 16 inches. This round is 16 inches. And there's no score lines on it or anything like that, okay? But so you can place your stuff however you like, whatever you want to do. Yeah, I'm liking this other gray that I mixed up better than that bluish gray. That was just not doing it for me. And the donkey does kind of sit on the edge over here. I'll show you. Right over here. Be careful pulling that off, because it's can be a little bit tricky. Now, I'm going to leave these tiny pieces on here. Okay, I'll pull off his hair, but I'll leave the rest of the little tiny inserts. And then come at these little skinny pieces from the bottom to pull them up. so that you don't break them, okay? Because those are pretty fragile. And then these are the inserts for his ears. Oh yeah, that's gonna look good. I like that white paint too. I don't know how many times I've used that, but I do like it. It's not really a full-fledged white. It's kind of an off-white, and I'm liking that. Okay, so this guy is going to go like this. Now, for those little pieces that sit in the middle, I'm not going to put those on until we're ready. I'm not even going to drop them in the little slots because they go on, and I'm not going to be able to get them back out without pulling all this stuff off of here. So, oops. I do want to set all of this down, and then I'll have to pick it all up, and that might be a struggle, so I don't particularly want to do it. I'm going to just put that like that. Oh my gosh, it's going to be really cute though. This is super cute. So I may just start with the neck piece, and then we can go from there, gluing and then dropping the inserts in as we go. Okay, now that I kind of have an idea of where the pieces go. I know that looks crazy, but it'll be good. So, stick fast. Here we come. I'm going to go ahead. This is a little bit different than my normal process, as you'll know, of gluing, of like putting everything down first. But these pieces are kind of different than my norm, since they all sort of snap together. So I'm going to just push that up a little bit so that I can... I do want to give this stick fast just a second to dry too before I start really fooling with it. And potentially accidentally knock it. Now, these pieces are not completely snug, okay? There is like a little black line. You'll see a black line around them, which I don't know yet whether I love that or hate it. To be honest with you, I think I like it, but we'll see once it's all put together. I will be the judge of that, and I may change the way that the cutout is if I hate it. I don't think I'm going to, but I was thinking I might whenever I realized that it was going to be this way. But I knew that I needed to see it all glued together with the colors, with everything painted, because it's hard to tell when stuff isn't painted yet, you know, on how exactly it's going to look. Now the ears are snug, which is good, the inside of the ears. And I'm just sticking the glue right in there and then dropping it in. Well, I guess that ear was snug. I don't know. The file designer on this one wasn't a huge fan of her design, the way that she did the file. And I know that's not very nice, but oh God. It had a bunch of extra lines in it that I had to remove out of it, and it was just kind of a mess. Now, I think, oh, this is kind of scaring me, really. Oh, I see. It goes up. No wonder. Okay. There we go. All right. I just used that leftover glue that was already in there. And then I have all these little pieces, okay? So whenever if you order this and you get your package and you have these tiny pieces, that's what they are the little inserts that go in his nostrils and this little nose piece. So don't throw them away. Or lose them, which is why I like to keep them stuck onto my cardboard. And then this guy is really super cute. Oops. All right. And then we'll put his hair on him. Give him his hair piece. And he will be, I think that will bring him all together. He's pretty cute. Yeah, I think he's a cutie pie. Alright, and then I want to arrange the words before I glue down my flowers and stuff. Oh gosh. This is a problem. My flower had paint. Hi Sylvia, how are you, doll? Nice to see you too, love. I made a little boo-boo here, but that's okay. I think I can... It'll be fine. I think my words will probably cover it up. Or I can use my little dragonfly that I haven't glued down yet. So yeah, well, I want to figure out where my word's going to go first before I start gluing down the flowers. Just that, I think that helps, just to make sure for placement. Okay, now I intended for the words to go over here on this right side. So it should be totally fine. Now, just don't mind me touching up my boo-boo here. And then as far as the flowers go, I'm not going to set these little, the middle of the flowers in yet. I think which ones go with which, I hope. I should probably figure that out before I have glue in here though. Make sure I know. I hate that whenever they're not perfect circles because it's real hard to tell. I do have a few complaints on this file. There, that one goes there. And then I'll pull it out and I'll just leave it in the direction like that it goes, like that, so that I know whenever I go to pick it up. And hopefully whenever I pick it up I don't screw it up immediately, which is a very likely possibility that it's something that I would totally do, is go to pick it up and completely mess up the way that it's supposed to go in there. It sounds like something that I would definitely have a hand in doing. Okay, this is going to be so good. Now, I want to make sure that my letters are spaced appropriately. So I definitely want to get my sizing situated on this before I glue any of the words down, okay? So let me get this dry first and then we can talk about it. But the intention is for the word welcome to be pretty close together, okay? You can space out the funny farm part a little bit more. But these letters are going to need to be pretty close in order to fit And the E might hang off just a little bit was the intention. Okay, so see, this isn't just having the E hang off just that little bit over here, if you can see that. And then this is pretty cute. There we go. All right, so I'm going to get my little flowers on here first. And I'm just going to start with the stems. Now, I did separate these out so that you could easily paint them. And the little stems have a flat side that can sit right on the edge of the round, okay, to make it easier. And the little stem pokes right up into the flower, so you can just kind of get it in there, okay? Just like that. And then this other one has 2 stems on it. Now, I see what I've done here, and I'm hoping that I didn't mess up my whole situation that I had going on for my little middle insert pieces. And I may have, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine. Oh gosh. Oh, see, now that's a problem. Because I put it too close. So let's see what we can do about that. There we go. Ooh. Now, I had to turn that because careful with this one, it's being too close. I think I've got how this goes in here. I'm going to just drop that right in. This one could be the other way. Of course, I didn't test it. And then I knew I probably screwed this one up a minute ago by turning that all around. There we go. Okay, so then for our letters, I'm gonna pick them right up and set them right back down with everything laid out exactly how I want it so that I don't screw this up. Now, I don't know if this is straight or not, okay, to be honest with you. I'm the worst when it comes to doing stuff straight that doesn't have a line, so you might want to like draw yourself a line or something, okay? Help yourself out here. I'm really bad at doing stuff like this and not making it straight, okay? So if it isn't straight, whenever I pick it up and show it to you, just pretend like it is, okay? And just know that everything in my life is chaos pretty much 24/7. And very little goes to plan around here. So there, I even made myself a little bit more room. Look at that. Somehow. And then so anyway, my parents are building their house and they're starting to put windows in today. They're moving really fast. I'm shocked by how quick that construction is going. They're building a barn-dominium. I don't know if I've told y'all that or not, but it's going to be so nice. I'm really excited. My mom is getting her dream home. And it's I'm getting my dream guest room too, so I will have a bedroom there that's mine. That my mom will call it mine, and only certain people will be allowed to sleep in there. The people that stay the night, like, there's rules. So I was thinking, I guess I can put it here. I don't know. The space is kind of blank right here, so. Alright. There you have it. So this does come with a hanger, and of course I'm waiting until the end to put it on because I don't know why I wouldn't, why I would do it to start with and make my life any easier. Again, pure chaos around here, okay? But I think that turned out pretty cute anyways. What do you think? Alright, y'all want to hang out with me while I try to finagle the the hanger on this thing? I don't know if I have it in me, but we can do it. So it's one of these that you just put down that little notched one first. You get yourself some nice heavy duty jute, which I have like the monstrous roll over here that I'll never run out of it. My grandchildren will probably end up using some of this jute after I'm long gone because it's such a giant thing of jute. And I cut way too much, but I'd rather have a longer piece than shorter. So I'm going to just tie a knot right there on one side and trim that off. And if you saw what I just did, I just took the end of my glue gun and just kind of picked up a little bit of the, I didn't even squirt actual glue on it. I just used some of the melted glue that's on the end just to make it a little bit easier to push that thing through. Okay, I like my hangers to be really short. It's total personal preference. I don't want it beating up my door whenever it opens and closes. And people come in and out of my house like it's a door slamming competition, okay? So I don't want anything to hurt my door worse than it's already being damaged on a regular. Now I'm going to put glue in like a smiley face formation here. I don't have direct sunlight on my front door either, so I'm not super worried about this melting. If you do, you probably want to use a better glue, an E6000, along with hot glue. Or even staples. You could totally use staples on this and it would be really good. I'm not worried about it because I don't get direct sunlight, so it's not going to melt or anything. But if you do, totally recommend that you do that. Now, hopefully this is hung straight. And if it's not, it's chaos, so it's totally fine. I love you all. Thanks for joining me. I will see you tomorrow, okay? Good night.